could say.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for them, they suddenly found themselves on the back end of some really informed teams.
Well, for me as well, Group B was one of those that was so mixed in terms of playstyle. You've got Moscow 5, which, you know, no one really knows, apart from Moscow 5, what they're going to bring out. You've got eHome, the Chinese team, which unfortunately didn't really make their mark on the group. They did manage to get the one win right at the end there against Curse. You've got Cypher, who, you know, they had this massive lineup change before the event, and no one really knew what to expect from them. You've got TSM in there. You've got Curse, who had the drama of their own lineup, having to bring in a last-minute replacement and then doing so well, unfortunately, for them losing out against CLG in the quarterfinal. Exactly, could have done with him today by the looks of things. So here we go then, SK versus Against All Authority quarterfinal. Winner will be going through to meet none other than Team Dignitas. So I made that very dramatic entrance, but actually we're going to have a regame. Yeah, we are going to have a regame. So something went up and they've all left the game, so we are going to be left to talk again. So, I mean, let's look about Against All Authorities versus SK. They've fought quite a few times online. I'd say Against All Authorities, I think, are probably the favourites. I think they've come out on top more often. I would say I would give it to Against All Authorities, you know, being favourites, but like I say, SK have played very well. They're 4-1-0 in the group. The only team they lost to have looked like the ones that are going to reach the finals. I have no idea how Moscow 5 CLG is going to go. CLG are going to have to change their game for Moscow 5.
I think so as well. Because CLG, throughout this tournament, have pretty much farmed. There's no way about it. Every game I've watched, they have sat and farmed. It's been very passive from them. Moscow 5 are the complete polar opposite. They are in your face. eHome discovered this with a 3-man tower dive at level 2.
Standard stuff. Yeah, but like you say, CLG, I think the right word you could say there is static, actually. You didn't get in the game, right?
No.
And they've already started again.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I am not in there, yeah.
So we wait for someone else for the last game, regame, and Demon actually didn't get in this time either. We will coordinate this at some point in the near future. I'm sure the admins will get them to regame. They were already picked in there and getting going.
So give me a chance to
refresh what do you think to some of these players? I mean, you look, you mentioned Dedrian, who actually this is his first major tournament. And this stage is a little bit scary, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Actually, I wouldn't play on there. I'd be too scared. You know, we've got a massive, massive audience here. Look at that. He's just ruined it with a sticker.
I know.
Nice
really?
of you. Nice of you.
We get these nice little clean things.
I'm going to get in there.
I'm going to get in there before they start, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like you say, Ocelot, actually, I spoke to him on the first day. He came in towards the end of Group A. To give the Drain a little bit of experience to see come in, and he was Ocelot was actually a little bit worried. So, you know, I don't know how he's going to react. Nobody knows how they're going to react when you come in and see all these people, this massive stage. You're like, what are you going to do? But he was excited. That was the thing there. So, which immediately he was like, wow, okay, now I'm confident because my jungler's excited. My mid lane, you can see, he's actually next to Ocelot, and between the jungler and the top laner, so they're all excited. Very focused faces there as well. And SK, even the very first game against Cypher, they were like, we did a perfect game, 9-0. Yep. It was a long game, but they said it was a perfect game. It says everything's good and we're feeling confident. So SK coming into this one, probably the most confident I've ever seen them. I think, like you said, you know, SK, they were a bit unsure. Kiev, in New York, they actually looked really good in New York, but unfortunately for them, they came up against a brick wall, which was Fnatic at the time. And Fnatic at this tournament were looking incredible. They went 2-0, and then they lost every game afterwards. But they were immediately looking good. But it's the most confident I've seen them. However, Against All Authorities are in the same position. They should, in my opinion, have topped the group, but they got stomped by Dignitas, which is going to be a worry for them because it is Dignitas in the semi-finals. So it may play in the back of their minds. It's like, well, even if we beat SK, we've got to come up against Dignitas again. We really struggled with, and it wasn't even close. It was like 24-7. It was a very big defeat there for them. But Against All Authorities, you know what? They're a fairly new team as well. We've got N-Rated as the support that's come into it, obviously replaced OSAF 22 after Kiev. MoMA's also come in and replaced Althor, and they have been solid replacements. They've really gelled well. Soaz has always been a fantastic top. Yellow Star has always been a fantastic bottom lane. Nearly called him Yellow Pete, and CLG would be happy with that. But yeah, and Linak, of course, has been the stable diet in the jungle lately. So they are, you can see on their screens, you can just about make out they're loading in there. So we're going to be going into the game shortly. But Joe, okay, let's put it on the line.
Actually, in Cologne, here in Germany, at the SK offices, they weren't streaming throughout that boot camp, and they weren't giving anything away, and I think that gives them a real edge. I think that they could possibly come out with something a little bit special here, and we've seen from them they've been solid. As you mentioned earlier on in the tournament, they were commenting on the fact that they were running perfect games, and that's the position that you need to be in coming into a match like this to really have the edge.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think SK could take this one. We're going to go into the game, guys. You're ready for an awesome quarterfinals. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give you a quick roster rundown of the teams. It's been a while since the picks and bans, or Big Ben as our camera crew likes to call it.
That's a story for Between the Games, I think.
That is definitely a story for Between the Games. We'll come back to that one, because we may see our very first level 1 team fight here. Just catching a glimpse, and Ocelot's actually going to catch out Yellow Star and back away straight away from there. So we could see an invade from against our authorities, and rightly so. They have Mundo. They have a pretty strong level 1 team. They're going to go pushing forward. Ocelot's going to have to back away from this one. Will we see them go and take that blue away, or will they just step away? The rest of SK aren't actually close by, so let's give you a quick rundown of the teams while they are going to step back. For SK, it is going to be Nif, Candy Panda, Dedrayan, Kevin, and Ocelot. They are going to be on Sona and Ocelot. Where that came from, I don't know. Sona and Cogmore down the bottom lane. Dedrayan will be in the jungle on Lee Sin. Kevin, meanwhile, you can see, will be on Shyvana, and Ocelot will be on Galio in the middle there. Meanwhile, for Against All Authority, it's going to be a Mundo in the jungle, and that's actually something the American teams have been playing a lot, so they've maybe picked that up from them. Soaz will be at the top on Wukong. Meanwhile, Leona and Corki down the bottom. That's going to be an interesting lane straight away. I'm not too sure how that one's going to work out. Leona is one of those supports, can be hit or miss, and in the middle it will be MoMA.
On Karthus.
On Karthus, yeah.
What do you think to this middle lane? Obviously, Galio, he is, for an AP carry, naturally tanky. And he can really farm well. How's that going to play out against MoMA on Karthus, do you think? Is that a case of MoMA's going to need some early level ganks to actually get a big advantage moving in that middle lane?
Yeah, possibly. And Karthus obviously is low hit point hero to start with, so I would look towards Lee Sin possibly trying to get the ganks early on to him. Ocelot will be harassing. He went very aggressive on Reginald as Cassiopeia, and they're a similar sort of hit point hero, so I'd expect to see Lee Sin going for pretty early ganks. And as it is at the moment, I'm just looking down the bottom there. Apologies if you did just see me pulling the map scroll speed down. It was very quick, and I don't like you guys to get seasick as I try and do this. You can see Dedrayan is setting himself up very early on here. Nif is going to try and bait it in towards the bush here, and he's hoping that N-Rated is actually going to go towards it. He's put a ward straight in his face, which means they're going to back straight away from that one. And the Q has missed as well from Dedrayan, so they're going to back off. But Yellow Star was taken pretty low by Candy Panda already there.
Yeah, nicely done, actually, that ward. Possibly saving them, just judging by how low Yellow Star went in that little exchange. Candy Panda obviously kept his focus directly in there. This is a battle between the top 2 AD carries so far in the tournament. Meanwhile, we are seeing the aggressive jungle from Against All Authority. Linak is in there with Mundo. He's going to be trying to steal away this blue buff, and when I say trying, he's going to take that one. He's actually got no one to stop him in there. Will leave one small golem, and that is going to be very, very annoying. That's going to set Lee Sin back, actually, quite a long way at this early level. It will do, and he's not really in the position to counter it. You can see Clairvoyance has gone down. It's like, their blue's still up. This might be a problem. I think we've just lost our blue, and Dedrayan's going to come around that corner and find just 2 little lizards as he cues towards it and says, oh dear, this is not going to go well. So that means MoMA probably is going to pick up the blue early on, which is ideal for Karthus. It's going to give him so much help down the bottom. You can see the poke continuing to come out. Power Core just hitting on towards N-Rated there. So Nif and Candy Panda really trying to lay on the pressure down the bottom there. Meanwhile, at the top, you can see Kevin has been pushed heavily to his tower, and Soaz is going to go back and buy. So his first trip back, he's going to pick up a
Doran's Blade there to go, and a ward just to cover off, and 4 health pots, very tanky straight away, and Muma will pick up the blue, so that is immediately going to put SK on the back foot.
And that's what they were looking for. We mentioned this early game, Moma probably going to need a fair bit of help in and amongst this middle lane. And, well, he's managed to get that blue buff early on, which gives him that spam ability, gives him that extra sustainability against Ocelot. And if we look at the early CS actually from that middle lane, we can see 29 to 29, so very, very even. You could possibly expect Moma to edge slightly ahead with that one. Meanwhile, up on top lane, we've actually got a bit of damage coming in onto Kevin. Obviously, Shyvana versus Wukong. Wukong has, as Demon mentioned, been back. The Doran's Blade already up there. So he's going to be doing that little bit of extra damage as well, should he decide to get aggressive and possibly get a gank soon from Mundo, because he's on the top side of their jungle.
Yeah, down the bottom we're seeing a CS advantage already for Corki. He's around about 10 CS ahead. What I mean by CS is creep score, so it's all about getting the last hits on these creeps in front of you. And for anyone, obviously, a regular viewers have been going, well, that's pretty obvious, but we are here in a big trade show. There is a massive crowd of people that maybe wouldn't even seen League of Legends before, so they're probably unaware of exactly how it works. It's simply 3 lanes, and the minions are auto pushing up there. I'm just keeping my eye on here at the top here, because you can see Lenak is lingering. Meanwhile, also, Lee Sin's going to come in. This could work out in their favour, though. Kevin is ready for this one. He's going to try and dive it towards Soaz. I'm not too sure they have the damage. They're going to go towards Linak. Linak has got the ignites on him. Drain, meanwhile, is going to go back and forth. He will pick up the first blood. The ulti coming out from Karthus. Drain's going to back away from this one. Will Soaz have enough to finish him off? He's going to try and get the last hit. He will. And that is a traded blow there. And, well, very nicely done. A 2-1 exchange. And against all authorities coming out very well. And that is just going to feed Soaz so badly. A 2-0 to Soaz on Wukong is going to be a horrible, horrible thing for Shyvana to face.
Yeah, the monkey getting fed early on, and we talked about this little stat, which obviously isn't the end of the world, but the only game that SK lost have lost so far is the only game that Kevin's actually died. And Moma is going to be stealing away those wraiths as well. Actually,
Candy Panda's just about hanging on down the bottom there. The ignites run around out. Ocelot was also taken down very low. So while that happened, it was like a full-on lane push on every single lane. They nearly picked up a full-on ace this early on, which would have been pretty crazy. So Kevin is, well, he's up against it at the top here. I mean, 38 CS to 44. And now you can see triple Doran's Blade on Wukong already, only 6 minutes into this game. That is not good. Now those wraiths have been taken away by Linak. They started to be taken away by Moma. Now Linak's just finished the job. And you know what? I think we might even see some crazy early dragon play from against all authority here. Chopper coming straight through, catching to Drain. Bottom lane continuing being pushed as well. Corki is 49 CS to 37, so like keeping that 10 CS advantage down the bottom lane.
Yeah, 10 CS advantage, and yeah, up top we are going to see. I mean, Soaz, why not? He's now been, he's got those first 2 kills, including the first blood in there. Going to continue to, you know, try his luck with this and really force Kevin to have a hard time. There's lots of pings going down around that middle area as well. Ocelot just being spotted. That ward is down from against all authority, but he has one also in that brush. In terms of the CS now, up at the top, 43 to 48, so it remains that little bit more close, but Soaz is going to be a constant harass now.
Yeah. And the big important thing is Soaz is actually keeping him completely away from the CS. You can see Kevin can't get near it. Every time he comes near, Soaz is in his face and he's immediately diving on him again. Pops his ulti this time. He is a level ahead, and you can see Kevin's going to have to go away from this one. Had to use his ulti, just about got it in time to pop away from that one. Soaz completely zoning him out there, and this is really going in favour of against all authorities. They have probably the best start they could hope for. You can see Corki down the bottom has that triple Doran's Blade now, return into lane, double Doran's meanwhile for Candy Panda. So falling behind in every lane is not a very good start.
Yeah, real good stuff so far to this point from against all authority. We do have Candy Panda up at level 6 now. Yellow Star shouldn't be too far behind. I think one more bit of experience here in this bottom lane, and he's shielding up to level 6. Yep, there we go. So ulti ready on Corki as well. Those bombs going to assist him a little bit more. Meanwhile, in middle lane, in terms of CS, 64 to 85, and you know that's one thing. The actual early damage that was put onto Ocelot to force him to go home, plus combined with the fact that Moma got the blue buff early on, he's taken wraiths I think 2 or 3 times away from his opponent's jungle actually as well. That's giving Moma a real nice advantage in this middle area.
It has, and you can see actually that maybe setting up for a dragon here. Linak has pulled it out, but I don't think he's going to go for it just yet. He's going to back away because they realise blue buff will be up shortly, and they're actually wondering whether they're going to go across and maybe try and harass them for it. Ocelot actually went across there with the Draen, and they were like, they didn't know the timings on when the blue was there, so they went to look for it and it wasn't available, and now they're actually looking at maybe countering and trying to steal one of their own. They can catch Momo coming across. Oh, the Q completely missing Momo there. The Draen, wow, maybe we're seeing a little sign of nerves there because he was way off with that, and Momo was just walking straight towards him.
Yeah, it was a mile off, and Momo, didn't even know he was there. We are going to see that blue buff going over again, and blue buff is now up over on the other side as well. We'll see if Against All Authority go anywhere over there. Actually, a ward down just outside Dragon. That's going to be a waste of cash because there's a pink ward down from Against All Authority. The ward will be cleared out. Blue buff, as I said, is up. We'll see if that goes over onto Ocelot, who does have the chalice built up at this point of the game. Meanwhile, down at bottom, Against All Authority have pushed, and it's going to allow Mundo to get in at the back side of this brush. They need to wait a little bit. Actually, they're going to start diving in there and absolutely exploded his Nif. That was a real quick one. Actually, Linak didn't even need to get involved there.
No, that was just incredible. He just popped there and then, and that's going to give them the dragon. Surely Draen's going to come around and maybe try and contest it, but I'm not too sure if it's really contestable at all. He's going to maybe try and come in. He's got to place himself a ward or something to back away from. He's going to use Candy Panda instead as a back away. You can see he's trying to get that Q in to zip in, maybe get the smite on him, and then back out. Ocelot is in there as well. Are they going to be able to get in the steal? I don't think they did, though. Now they're going to get caught out. The Draen's going to have to use his ulti kick on N-rated to back away from that one. And wow, this is looking very big, much in Momo's favour. Momo's favour Against All Authority's favour. Oh, I'm just keeping my eye on Wukong coming around the side. He's going to go straight towards Soaz. He's actually going to use his mirror there to try and get around. He wanted to jump onto the Draen, and Ocelot was a little bit concerned about Wukong here because this is a very, very fed Wukong. You can see he's picked up that longsword as well. Maybe going too aggressive, but he's going to try and finish off Ocelot. Ocelot's had to use his flash. Would you believe in a 4-on-1? He's forced him to use the flash to Karthus. He's going to come out. Oh, completely juked him there with that flash, and Ocelot will survive. And wow, Soaz is just so strong right now. They may give up that top tower. Yes, they will. Kevin will be able to pick that top tower up. So that's going to be a little bit of a saving grace for SK. That will try and keep the gold in check a little bit. But Kevin is going to have to really work hard here to try and keep up with Soaz.
That was such great play, actually, from Soaz. Moving in there, use his mirror to get right in there in the pack. Did a load of damage to Ocelot. Actually used his ulti as well to get himself a little bit further away, knock all the SK players up in the air, then flashed out of it. Unfortunately for them, it was just a little bit too many HP left on Ocelot, so the Karthus ulti couldn't quite finish things off. Actually, we will see Clairvoyance has been used. Actually, that was by Nif to take a peek over towards their own blue buff. Will we see Mundo head down there once again? We saw him steal the first one very early on in the game. It looks like this time Ocelot will have a blue buff to play with. Momo's blue buff has actually run out since the last time they picked it up. Meanwhile, down at bottom, you can see the Yellow Star N-rated pushing this lane nicely. And the thing is, they've got a lot more damage in that bottom lane than SK, and that's something that Candy Panda and, well, maybe even Nif in particular, we saw how fast he was popped for that kill earlier on. They have to be very careful. And here we go, we are going to see them dive straight in there, as if by magic, and Candy Panda goes very, very low. Deadrain is in there. N-rated could be the one getting caught out, and he's surely going to be taken out by Deadrain. He will be. Yellow Star not able to get anything, and, well, he uses a Valkyrie to get away, but at least in sticking to him, Yellow Star will get back to the comfort of his tower. And Ocelot, I'll tell you what, coming straight in, they're going to try and dive in possibly here for Yellow Star, who that's not going to work out perfectly. Ocelot will decide to ulti. Linak going fairly low as well. And they need to be real careful because these minions are coming in as well. If they decide to push, no, well, they're not going to decide to push. Deadrain is still fairly high HP, which surprises me that they didn't continue to push there.
Yeah, they could have, and I think also you kind of used his ulti a little bit too early. They're going to lose out on the tower up top there. Soaz is going to lay down a chunk of damage. I think they were just so scared of Momo's ulti right now. Momo has been back, and look at that. I just looked at him a minute ago. He just got the catalyst now straight towards Rod of the Protectors. So immediately, Roddy the Aegis, sorry, Rod of the Protectors. I don't know where they pulled that one from. Linak is getting caught again there, but you can see N-Rated is back, but just check out that damage. How quick was Cogmore going down there? Once he got caught out, he was nearly popped instantly. That is going to be a very scary thing for him, and Candy Panda's got to be so cautious of that. You can already see N-Rated's just hovering around, waiting for his AD carry to come back. Corki is coming back down the lane, so now with a Sheen as well, is going to be popping that damage out. Candy Panda's going to port back. What's he going to go and buy? It's going to be a Madras Razor actually going for, so possibly building up to a Blood Razor. No, Wriggles he'll be. So he's just going to be pushing on towards that bottom lane. I think they're going to lose this bottom tower before they return to this lane. Corki will continue to hammer away. They're going to probably back away one last time, and there is the tower. So that is going to be all square in towers. But of course, it is clearly against our authorities in the driving seat at the moment.
Yeah, and 3-2 in kills in favour of Against All Authority. The two that have come over for SK have both gone into Lee Sin. Dedrian, you definitely can't fault him for that one, but you know, Shyvana already gone down, not such a big deal, but Galio, Ocelot obviously has yet to really be involved there. No assists, no kills, albeit no deaths as well. Going to be one assist from Moma. Let's see what they go for here. Actually, we could see a bit of action down at the bottom. They are going to dive in onto Candy Panda again. Nif has to use that ulti to get away. Valkyrie used, and it's going to be enough to finish off Nif. The ulti came in from Karthus as well, and it was the Karthus ulti that got the kill. Candy Panda needs to be a little bit careful. Actually, he's got Kevin and Dedrian just to the top there. They were doing the golems. But again, Against All Authority showing how, you know, Leona, not quite the classic support, but certainly can get those kills very quickly.
He can do, and it's like the Alistair style, you know, once he's gone, you're just going to bounce, you do a lot of damage, and in cohesion with Momo on his ulti as well, it's just popping them very quickly, and he's going to be happy to be fed up there, because obviously a very fed Karthus is a dangerous thing, and just look at the CS difference. You can see 173 CS to 140 for Galio, well 139 if I want to be precise, but he's already pulling quite an advantage. 1-0-1 as well. Galio has not been able to pick anything up, and Against All Authorities just completely driving forward. Obviously Soaz now up to that brutalizer that he was building towards earlier on. He's looking very strong in comparison. 129 CS to 117, so he's got a 10 CS advantage. Shyvana actually trying his best to pull back into this one, but they are lacking a little bit of crowd control here. They have got the Galio ulti, and they need to be in position to plant and get a lot of that damage down from Candy Panda, but he's just being caught out by Leona every time. There you go, walking straight into a cleaver in the face. They are buying them time to continue pushing on the tower here, but I gotta be careful that Candy Panda, if he gets caught, he will be dead instantly.
Yeah, needs to be really careful. Actually, we can see that kind of moving as a group up there. Kevin just running through a wall of pain. Won't be too much of a hindrance with him when he's got burnt out, though. Can literally just waltz away from that one. And SK are forced away from that middle turret after taking it down to around about 2/3 of its HP. Dragon is available. Obviously, one Dragon has already gone over to Against All Authority, and they are surely going to be trying to pull this one out. Yellowstar is the man right at the front, just trying to get that poke damage out into SK as they come in there. There is a ward in that brush as well, as N-Rated did get himself in. They are going to dive in. Ocelot already going down to around about half HP. Against All Authority, though, losing N-Rated in the middle of it. Looks like Soaz will die as well. They still have Cogmore running in there as well. And Kevin versus Yellowstar. I'm not sure that Kevin's going to escape from this one. He won't. It's Yellowstar that gets the kill, but look at Moma. He's got an ignite on him, and he will be finished off by Nif, of all people. Here comes the ulti. Is he going to get the kill? No, not quite.
Press the Q, yes! Yeah. Oh, straight in towards the tower. Yeah. It's like you've landed it, press it, follow it up. Wow, pretty crazy stuff. So 7-7, a pretty strange engage there. Unfortunately for SK, Nif actually picked up a couple of kill there, and along with a bunch of assists. So, but you know, you can see Lee Sin 4-2-2. Wasn't really the right people they wanted to get the kills, though. Cogmore, you can see, didn't pick anything up there. Did get 4 assists, though. But that was a pretty crazy exchange, and you can see the power that Shyvana has when that ulti is used in the right place at the right time. We managed to get across those weaker hit point heroes and immediately cause problems. And again, we mentioned it before, they were split up. Moma was stuck out here while the rest of the team were all down here, and yet they managed to get the wall of pain out, but he just got immediately split away from his team. We've seen it so many times in these matches. It looks great when you do this fancy pincer move, but it just doesn't always work, especially in the early levels when you're a squishy hero. So it kind of backfired on them. And then remember, nobody's picked up that dragon yet. You can see Linek is going to pull it out, but I think SK are going to surely be ready. So I think we're going to see them going straight back in again. They are going to be able to get the damage down. Kog'Maw down the bottom though, so Kog'Maw's going to be split away from this one. Candy Panda needs to get involved. You can see the ping going down. Ocelot didn't, oh, he's going to get caught on actually. Nif is the target. Nif taking out very low. That's immediately going to give Against All Authority a big advantage. Diving on towards the drain. He does not have his ulti available. Beautiful catch by Leona there, but he's actually got away with it somehow. I've no idea how they managed to disappear from that one. Ocelot though did go down, as well as Nif, and now finally Kog'Maw actually catching down Corki down there, being caught out, and that's Against All Authorities. How SK were not set up for that one, I don't know. Surely they realised the fight was going to be straight back in their faces.
Yeah, it was a kind of obvious move there, and I'm not sure how it all went like that. To be honest, Against All Authority kind of split their focus in there at the end as well. Dedrian just escaping with very, very little HP. Actually did manage to survive in the end, went up into the top side of Against All Authorities jungle and did portal home. But if we look down the kills, Wukong extending himself now to 5-1-1. Corki 3-1-2 against the 0-2-4 of Kog'Maw. And you know, he's got Phage, he's got Sheen, triple Doran's Blade, Berserker's Greaves are finished. Wriggle's Lantern was built up first by Kog'Maw, as Demon mentioned earlier. Double Doran's Blade, Dagger, plus the Berserker Greaves and the Crit Gloves as well. So, you know, it's not looking good on pretty much all fronts, actually, for SK Gaming here.
Yeah, they're going to have to turtle it up a little here. They are only 10-7 though. It is only that one team fight, but that one Dragon team fight can be so important. It was very even in the first one. Linak having the cheek to actually start off on Baron now. I think he was just simply taking a peek, but I think it was going to be very adventurous for SK to actually go remotely near that. We are 20 minutes in. We did see a pretty early one from CLG earlier on, and I think it was a two-man Baron there. But look at Soaz. He's so confident at the moment against Kevin. He's just feeling he can do anything. He's double buffed up. He's just really laying down the smack on this top lane. And it's just, there's not a lot that Kevin can do, but Kevin has been useful in a team fight when positioned well.
Yeah.
And he needs Galio to plant in the right place for Kevin to get across. It's just not working out though. Once they get that team fight, they just need to get the positioning sorted out. Ocelot placing the ward down to keep a check on Baron. Yellowstar now with a brilliant spot as well running, has completed that Trinity Force, so he's going to be very strong as well. You can see a Warmogs now on Mundo as well, so Mundo literally is going to go where he pleases. And Ocelot, well, he's struggling here. He's got that Abyssal Scepter complete, but you know, with the Chalice, he's in a horrible place compared to Karthus, who's 2-1-5, has got that Rabadon's Death Cap, and Rod of Ages already complete.
Yeah, bit of a scary situation for SK, but it's still, you know, definitely not a done deal. It can turn itself around, but SK need a good, solid team fight. Coming into the next one, we can see the poke from Yellowstar actually taking this middle turret down to less than half HP. Down at bottom, Momo was just having himself a little bit of farm. Candy Panda needs to be careful here. Okay, there are wards down in that brush. And Moma is going to be taking away the golems from that bottom side. SK, by the time they react and start moving down, actually Against All Authority are around this red buff. We are going to see Soaz dive in there. Damage coming from Kevin and Dedrian. But I'm not sure that SK should fancy their chances. Actually, Kog'Maw is in behind, but Valkyrie used by Yellowstar to get away, and Against All Authority will take the route via that tri-bush and move back to safety. Clairvoyance was used by Nif as well, just to make sure that, you know, everything's kosher, that they weren't setting up some kind of trap inside of that tri-bush anyway.
And it is a trap. They've gone on towards Candy Panda down the bottom, managed to pop the ulti, the ignite as well, and Soaz is going to happily take this one, and that will be the Karthus ult finishing it off. Very, very well executed there. The rest of the team are back away, and Candy Panda just got caught completely napping up the lane. While this was all happening, Linux happily tanking away on that top turret. He will take it down, taking a big chunk of damage. An ulti from Ocelot. Oh, very nice to exhaust there. That will prevent all the damage coming from that ulti, but I think he might be able to finish him off. He's trying to finish it, but you can see Linux with that ulti run. He's going to get all that life regen, and yeah, he just walks away from it like a boss. You wouldn't believe he's just got any trouble at all. Moma also taking down that middle turret. Dedrayan's got to be careful here. He's going to get caught out by N-rated. They needed to take the turret down though, because Moma's tanking up. Suddenly N-rated. No, you've just kicked him out of turret range. I do not believe it. Dedrayan using the ulti, hoping he had the damage, but wow. Against All Authorities, continue, pick up another tower and walk away.
Yeah, Moma currently double buff as well. When he comes back in, actually,
Dedrayan's going down in the middle.
Yeah, Dedrayan will get cornered by Soaz, and they've given so much to Wukong. He's actually got that frozen Mali already finished, and that's just bad news all around. It's 12-7 in the overall score.
6-1 Wukong.
Brilliance. Fortitude pots being picked up here as well by Mundo and by Corki. So I could expect that they are going to be setting up possibly for a Baron sometime in the near future. Do we have an Oracle anywhere in the team? Nope, not just yet. They're going to need that to clear out. There are wards from SK around that Baron area. And they're around about 10k ahead in gold now against All Authority. Dragon should be up fairly soonish as well. And SK are in that horrible position where you've not got much of a choice other than to defend.
Absolutely, they're having to passive farm it up here and hope they can catch out a clean Baron fight. That's really SK's big chance at the moment. They have to try and catch out in the right position at the right time. A good crescendo, a good Galio ulti planted down, and they need Kevin to get across. There's a lot of AE effect, area effect abilities they have, but they've just not been able to use them in the right time because they just keep getting caught out. Candy Panda's been caught out a couple of times now by the Leona or Wukong or diving in on him. Meanwhile, Corki's been ripping him apart. You can see 0-3-4. He's just not been protected. Oh, actually, that's a bit harsh. I can't see he's not been protected. He's just been caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yellow Star's been doing a fantastic job, continue driving forward, farming away. You can see is that 180 CS to Candy Panda's 154, which is an unusual thing. Candy Panda is normally ahead of most people on it, but Yellow Star has been doing a fantastic job all tournament down that bottom lane. Meanwhile, Leona, you know, sometimes always a questionable support. You never know whether you can get the sustain with him, but N-Rated has played a fantastic Leona so far this game. But Soaz at 6-1-2 is so strong, and it's looking like they're maybe going to set up for an invade here. They're going to go for the blue buff, and possibly, if they can force a team fight, probably go for Baron Joe.
Yeah, certainly. We do have now the Oracle on Mundo. On Linak, they're going to clear that one, which was actually the last bit of vision that they had anywhere near that Baron area. So SK have to stick around at least for a while here to figure things out. Wall of Pain does go down. Blue buff is taken away. Actually went to Soaz in the end. And that's going to be one step closer to a possible victory for against All Authority. As I mentioned, there is no vision. They've got that Clairvoyance. Ward will be dropped in finally, so that SK should know if against All Authority start to work over towards that Baron area. Actually, we've got Moma doing Dragon on his own at this point, down in the bottom area. And I don't think there's anyone from against All Authority that will even be anywhere near him to stop that happening. No, and Dragon will go there, increasing the gold lead to over 10k now. 42-31, and a lot of pings going down, which means blue buff is going to be taken by Moma as well. And now against All Authority, the way they're playing it, they've bought those pots there, basically taking everything from the jungle that they can. They're gearing up here. They
are gearing up. They're just completely driving home their dominance. And they're just saying, you know what, all they're doing at the moment, you can see they're just pushing every lane. So they're Moma's clearing that bottom lane, pushing it, getting the defile. He's going to go back and bite. Probably sitting on a chunk of gold. You can see 2,200 gold on Wukong, 1,000 on Karthus, 1,500 on Corki. They are all just farming it up, and they're going to be happily buying. Immediately, you can see building towards a Zhonya's hourglass already. So that's going to be a very scary Karthus now. Right now, 492 ability power, and he's just going to eat someone alive as soon as he pops out Brilliance Potion as well. If you can add the Baron on top, as soon as they get into the Baron fight, you can see they're all ready and waiting. They're all starting to buy the potions, so he's just going to pop them all and go, right, let's have a fight. Let's bring it on. Ocelot, he is struggling. He's trying his best to keep in there. He's got 200 AP as well. He's looking pretty strong, but yeah, the ping goes down. You can see against All Authorities, they are going to pull out the Baron, or pull it out, start the Baron, but they're just trying to see what the reactions of SK are at the moment. They have the ward placement to see if anyone moves towards them. SK tried not to flinch there. They kind of showed the hand, though. They're so like, yeah, we know you have wards in and around this area, so they are going to start on the Baron. Baron down to half already. SK are going to have to be quick to get to this one because it's going down very quickly. Baron already picked up, and now SK completely caught in no man's land. You can see the crescendo going across just about the right time. Ocelot waiting for that ulti to run out, and he's going to try and plant it, but SK is just getting ripped apart all across Candy Panda, where he's in no man's land, and now he's just getting beaten up in the backside by Linak there, and that was a very one-sided fight. Ugly is what it was, and there was just no way they could do anything. As soon as Ocelot came in, they just planted the exhaust on him and said, go on and plant your ulti. We'll quite happily sit through this one.
Yeah, and the thing about that as well, Moma didn't even have time to get his ulti off before it, or in the midst of it. He actually popped it when 4 guys were already dead. Nif got away from that one, and against All Authority should be able to push now, take down this turret, plus the inhibitor. And well, what have
the
we got?
game.
Yeah, 7 seconds to go. Will they be able to push any further than that? I'm not sure that they'll want to. They've got actually, they've not got minions anywhere, but I'm guessing they're just going to tank this one. They've got Mundo, they've got Wukong in there, and they can just tank this bottom turret straight down. Will they want to be taking a fight now? I'm not that sure, to be honest. Ultis are up on the other side. Ocelot's actually isn't up at this point, so that's something that'll be a little bit careful about. Crescendo's not there as well, so as actually taking damage, and surely we'll get away from this one. Oh, Q just timing out there before it actually connected, so as that's great use, and actually will dive straight in onto Candy Pandy. Ulti goes across them. Candy surely will die. Dead Dragon going very, very low as well, and it's Momo who will take down the Lee Sin. Candy Panda trying to escape this one. Needs a cleaver over from Mundo. Didn't quite work out as intended, but again, that's 1 for 1. Dead Dragon goes down. Soaz goes down. But Soaz at 627 won't be too worried about that. He's actually gone in. Oh, here we go. Karthus ulti. Not getting anything. What was my point? Wukong, yeah, he's got a Last Whisper built up now to add to his Frozen Mallet, plus that Brutalizer, and he's just ridiculously scary at this point.
Yeah, and 2,000 gold now for Mummy. He's just going to clear this wave, go back and complete that Zhonya's Hourglass. Really is looking very strong, and against all authorities, they have this game in full control. So the question is for SK, what are they going to do? Chances are they are going to lose this game. They need to reset themselves, reset their confidence, because really it was all about that very, very early gank up the top there. You know, a double kill for Wukong. It's just, they've not looked back since then. Wukong's just got stronger and stronger. 627. He's been in the right place at the right time. Candy Panda's just been caught out too many times for my liking. There you go. You can see the Zhonya's Hourglass and a Blasting One being completed. Oh, wow. He's got Amplifying Tome as well, so Void Staff possibly coming out shortly for him. They are looking so strong. So what is that going to make Momo? Momo's going to be increased 708 AP. Wow, that is going to be a very painful ulti. And Dedrayan, oh, I tell you what, I think Soaz fancies this one. He's trying to position himself so he can get in there. Has got that Frozen Mallet. It's going to follow in the wave of minions. Dedrayan's already going to back away from that one. Let's have a look towards SK. Will they get caught out? They still need to be very careful. SK still, against all authorities, still have that Baron buff. There's around about a minute left on it. As they are stealing away the blue buff, and they're going to try and catch out Ocelot, chip him down as well, but he's going to have to back away from that one. Wukong is pushing this bottom lane. Remember, it is an open inhibitor. Candy Panda alone, I would not fancy that. You've got to be very careful. Soaz is just so strong. He's going to have to back away, but yeah, against all authorities, all they're doing right now is pushing every single lane down in towards the towers, and then they're just going to drive it home and take the win.
Yeah, once his top lane, they have the minions moving down. These towers will be the next target actually pinged in there from against all authority, and they can clear these minion waves out pretty much instantly with Karthus, who did take a bit of aggro from the turret. But that is going to go down. You can see SK positioning themselves a little bit wary by the steps up. And Linek just going to use the poke of that cleaver to constantly annoy Momo. Does take a bit of damage. Are they going to dive in there? Actually, Ocelot's going to go in for it. There he gets the ulti on Momo, on N-Rated, and on Linak, and this doesn't look like such a bad fight. Ulti will go down, though, and that's going to change everything with that 700-something AP. He got 2 kills in amongst it. Candy Panda's gone. No matter has to go out there. Nif will return as well. And look at this. Wukong coming in for the kills right there. Just a little bit too slow. Was Soaz getting slowed and taking lots of damage as well in there, but they've got super minions. They've got the Corki, they've got Wukong, plus Mundo hammering away on these turrets, and this is going to surely be good games as they start to work on this Nexus. They can pretty much just focus it. Soaz is going to stick in the ulti at the end, but that is 1-0 for Against All Authority. Great, solid play.
It was a solid victory, and really, you know, that's the difference between the top teams. You know, when they get advantages, they will just continue to drive it home at them, and we saw it obviously straight away. They took that blue buff